So the rest of you, please be quiet, okay? And try to pay attention. All right, whenever you guys are ready.
Jared, wait, Jared.
Just 5 more minutes. My apologies. Well, how many of you have told yourself just 5 more minutes only to realize that hours and hours have already gone by? Well, if an app can override your conscious decision, who is really in control of your time? Now, close your eyes and imagine you're lying in bed and it's 12 a.m. You're just scrolling through your social media and just telling yourself, just 5 more minutes. Then the next thing you know, it's already 2 a.m. You have consumed 30 straight views of memes, game updates, babies, cats, or even your favorite K-pop idols. That is not willpower failure. It is engineered addiction. I'm Jared.
I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Sophie. I'm Sharini. And I'm Jean.
We are from Group 2 and we are going to present our top one.
The hidden power of data bias.
And why should we care? Social media isn't just a tool. It is a manipulative force that shapes our self-worth, relationships, and even our worldview. And behind every like, share, and recommendation for you, there's a hidden power at work: data bias. Now, I will want each group leader to do this mental poll. This one. Has social media ever shown you content that felt oddly targeted?
Yes.
Yes. Well, your attention isn't just being sold, it's being manipulated by, weaponized by biased AI algorithm. Political bias, based on the Mendy poll just now, most of you say yes. Well, then it's because AI algorithm only shows you what you want to see. Racial bias. AI has a hard time recognizing facial recognitions of certain groups of people due to their skin tones, nose shapes, or even their eye shapes. Well, that is because AI is being fed portraits biasly from certain groups of races more compared to others. Class bias. AI resume analyzer will often scan through users' resume and will favor those from Ivy League schools compared to state schools. Our purpose of this topic is to allow each and every one of you to recognize how data bias secretly shapes our emotions, opportunities, and worldview. Audit your own social media habits and reconnecting to the real world by disconnecting. Artificial intelligence is shaping the decisions that affect our daily lives, from job applications to loan approvals. But when the data behind it is biased, the outcome will be dangerously unfair. So we must recognize and challenge data bias in AI in order to build a more just and inclusive future. So how does data bias occur?
We've been talking a lot about AI bias, but what is it exactly? Well, at its core, AI bias is when artificial intelligence reflects or sometimes even worsens the human prejudices. This because AI is trained on data, but when that data is biased, then so will the AI. There's actually 3 types of AI biases. The first of which is data bias. This occurs when the data set used to train and model the AI is only focusing on representing a certain group or demographic. So if the AI model is trained using only a specific demographic of people, people who fall outside of the demographic will be treated unfairly. And the second type of AI bias is algorithmic bias, where it's integrated into how the AI is programmed. See, even though the data set can be unbiased, the way the AI is programmed to prioritize certain features over others can still lead to unintentional bias. And at the root of it all is cognitive bias or human decision bias. Developers, data scientists, and even data analysts, they all make decisions when creating and modeling the AI, and sometimes their own biases can be reflected in it. But why does any of this matter? Does any of this actually affect you? Well, yes, it absolutely does. So let's talk about education. AI is already being used in schools for grading and admissions. Even Sunway might be in a trajectory towards using AI in our curriculum in the future. And AI is even used in our workplaces for stuff like job applications, like resume screening and job description writing. And there's even social media, where our content is being moderated by algorithms. But these algorithms moderating our content may be inconsistent in how they enforce policies in our feed. So you might find content being, harmless content being unfairly flagged for inappropriate content when it isn't. AI shapes what we see and what we don't. So this isn't just a tech problem, this is a human problem. AI is already so integrated in our education and in our workplaces, even in our entertainment. So as future leaders, maybe even future business analysts, it's our responsibility to realize and understand AI bias. But what can we do to combat it?
So data bias is often invisible, but the effects are very, very real. It impacts our decision in our daily lives, such as who gets hired and the quality of healthcare that we get. But let me ask you guys a question. What can we actually do to prevent this hidden power from causing harm? And the answer relies in changing how we understand and interact with data, especially as students and future leaders. So here is how you can take action. Firstly, integrating data literacy into education. So since data bias affects us very deeply without us realizing it, it is very, very important that we learn how to recognize these patterns in order to prevent bias in these AI systems. Even if our current curriculum does not cover this yet, we don't have to wait to get help. We can fix it ourselves. And this is how. By starting a petition to add data ethics and literacy into our model, or we can bring it up to our student council at class rep meetings. And the most important part is we should encourage our lecturers to include ethical AI discussions in group assignments. So why does this matter, you ask? So when students demand these changes, universities listen. Why? Because they want us to better prepare ourselves in an AI-driven world. Hence why this knowledge is very important. Second, pushing for ethical AI practices. So, as we all know, many AI systems use biased data that unfairly impacts people in critical areas such as hiring, healthcare, and also criminal justice. And this often happens behind the scenes, so we don't see it. But you can make a difference by supporting or organizing student campaigns for ethical AI on campus, or you could attend or host hackathons, workshops, or even forums on AI ethics. Or it could be as simple as during a work project, make sure to push your team members to document each data set so that you can explain where it comes from. So transparency matters here. But why is it important? Because as future developers, how we shape AI now will determine how it will be in the future, whether they are going to be fair or they're going to be very biased. And lastly, we should raise awareness through stories. So what people don't always realize is data bias obviously impacts us, right? But by sharing real life stories, it will help bring the issue out of the shadows. So you can organize or attend screenings of documents like coded bias and follow up with student discussions afterwards. Or you could use social media, which I'm pretty sure all of you do. You can use it to share stories or visuals that show how AI affects real people. And lastly, propose awareness events in your faculty or student clubs. So when people understand the consequences, they start demanding change. And that's how we will see progress.
Let us think about this. If you don't act, throughout secondary school, you've worked your hardest in terms of academics, sports, and extracurriculars. You aced your SPMs, your IGs, etc., etc. You finally apply for a scholarship into your dream school, and what do they tell you? This is not the school for you. But why? How do they know this? It's quite simple. AI systems use your data in terms of location, surname, and social media activities to determine whether you are qualified to get into said school. Said systems scan your applications and decided it did not like your school's postcode, that your surname is categorized into a group considered less successful. Your social media activities were unprofessional. Now off you go back to the school questioning why, and you're back to the start, they don't have an answer. And once again, why don't they have an answer? That's because they don't know. They just use the systems, they don't understand it. Hence, we're brought to this reality. There will be rejection without reason due to an invisible bias because there is no transparency. You'll be forced to live in a world where algorithmic rejection is the common norm. And that is the future you should fear. Now let's think about this from a different perspective. If you do act, now you've taken courses on AI and data ethics, you understand that algorithms make decisions and they can in fact be wrong. You were taught based on real life scenarios where AI systems made mistakes, and you saw students such as yourself make solutions to improve the situation. You then join initiatives where they review how student data is being used because you now understand it and are no longer confused. Companies and universities open up their systems and publish their AI practices. Students and staff collaborate in order to make sure AI decisions are both fair and accountable. Now, whenever biases arise, students no longer just shrug it off. They speak up. Voices are heard and changes are made. You are now no longer just data points. You are the people that create the systems according to your values. As such, we come to this reality. Through your hard work, to the initiatives that you've joined, there will be transparent algorithms, allowing your voices to be heard, thus empowering your decision-making capabilities. So through these two vivid visuals, I ask you this now. What is it that you can do in this very moment to make that change a reality?
Now that you've seen how deeply data bias shape our life, you might be thinking, but I'm just one person. What can I even do about it? Well, the truth is, quite a lot. Let's break it down into 4 powerful actions that you can start taking today. First, ask questions. Whenever you see a statistics, a recommendation, or even a For You page, stop and ask. Who collected this data? Who was included and who was left out? Is this what's trending or what someone paid to push? Most of us just scroll and click without a second thought. But awareness begins with curiosity. When we question the data, we challenge the system behind it. That's the first step towards breaking the cycle of bias. Second, educate yourself. You don't have to be a tech expert to understand AI bias. Just watch documentaries like Coded Bias, podcasts, online courses, or even follow creators focused on tech ethics, join webinars, or scroll through simplified posts on Instagram or LinkedIn. The more you learn, the less likely you will get manipulated by systems designed to exploit your ignorance. Education is empowerment. Third, hold tech accountable. Algorithms don't build themselves. People do. And people can be held responsible. So what can we do? We can support organizations demanding transparent AI, participate in digital petitions and awareness campaigns, and choose to use tools that are open about their data sources and fairness practices. Even something as small as tweeting your concern or sharing an article can spark a ripple effect. So if you're entering tech or businesses, take that mindset with you. And finally, speak up! Bias thrives in silence. So when you notice something's wrong, say something. Whether it's in a classroom project, a workplace policy, or even a group chat conversation, your voice matters. You could suggest AI ethic topics in class or club activities, recommend adding data literacy to group work, and call out biased content and languages. You don't need a title to make a change. You need conviction. To recap, biased algorithms are already shaping our lives, but we don't have to stay passive. We can start by pushing for data literacy in education, advocating for ethical AI practices, and raising awareness through real-life stories. We are entering a future where AI doesn't just assist us, it decides for us. And if we don't question it, educate ourselves, and demand fairness, the system we build will only reinforce the injustice we already face. Remember this: the power to shape the future of AI isn't limited to coders. It belongs to all of us. So stop being passive consumers and start being critical thinkers, informed users, and ethical advocates. Because in the fight against data bias, silence is complicity, and awareness is action.
Thank you for listening to our talk on
The hidden power of data bias.
and why should we care.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's see if the recording is okay.